In today's episode, a man comes back from being on the brink of death. Hello and welcome back to Encounters from Beyond the Veil. In today's episode, a young man becomes suddenly ill and finds himself on death's door. The only thing that can save him is the power of prayer.
On September 21st, 2011, Tammy Mask got a devastating phone call about her 20-year-old son, Stephen.
My sister-in-law was like, meet us at the hospital. Stephen has collapsed. I didn't realize it was that bad. I didn't realize that he had actually died.
Earlier that day, Stephen got together with friends for a pickup football game at their high school alma mater in Lufkin, Texas. In the middle of a play, Stephen fell suddenly, face first on the field.
Everybody run over there to him. We turned him over slowly. He was foaming out the side of his mouth. Luckily, Miss Jewel, she was a nurse. She was over there walking around in the track.
And as I was on my way over, I kept thinking, Lord, please let him be okay. He was cold and he was clammy, and I kept doing compressions. The panic, it was real.
Jewel Randall continued CPR until paramedics arrived and found Stephen in full cardiac arrest. On the way to the hospital, they got a pulse.
They took me to the room where Stephen was, and he was hooked up to all these machines. I just started begging God not to take my child, to take my life instead.
But doctors said there was nothing more they could do for her son. He was life-flighted to Houston Methodist Hospital, where a team of physicians were ready. Dr. Masroor Khan was Stephen's cardiologist.
He was comatose, he was intubated, he had a breathing tube, and he was on some drips to get him going.
Doctors determined Stephen had been clinically dead without oxygen and a heartbeat for over 20 minutes. Stephen's heart was enlarged and nearly 90% of his brain was severely damaged. If he survived, doctors said he would be in a vegetative state for the rest of his life.
It's like someone is just stabbing, you've been stabbed in your heart. That's your baby laying there.
It was very tough to see him hooked up to all kinds of wires and machine, and monitors. It was just devastating, but I had faith that he would recover.
With no time to waste, the Mask family called on their church, family, and community for prayers and support. 3 days went by with no sign of progress. Stephen developed a staph infection in his lungs, but Tammy and her family didn't give up.
I felt as if God wanted us to fast, so I asked everyone on Facebook, would they please fast and pray for Stephen, that God would spare his life, and not only spare his life, but restore him, make him whole. And that's when God just started working one miracle after another.
After only a day of fasting for Stephen, his lung infection cleared up and Stephen came out of the coma.
I was just grateful, just thankful. Just a feeling of gratitude and thankfulness to Jesus.
By day 3 of the fast, doctors said his heart was returning to its normal size and functioning at 80%.
The doctors, they were like, we don't know what to say. We cannot explain this. His heart is fine. They said we can't explain it. And I kept saying, it's God.
Eventually, doctors performed heart surgery to implant a defibrillator. Then, on October 15, 2011, Stephen was released to begin rehab. Soon, he was speaking.
He said, where is Bree? His sister, because they were really, really close. And so when he started talking, that was actually his first words. Any little progress he made writing his name, even though he would write his name backwards, he had to learn to brush his teeth, had to learn to do everything. Every step he made was like, it was joy.
On November 18, 2011, nearly 2 months after his heart attack, Stephen went home.
Oh, wow, it felt so good. He had been there for 55 days just to have him home and we can take care of him. So as a family, we worked to try to help Stephen get to where he needs to be.
Stephen doesn't remember what happened that day on the football field, but one part of his recovery is unforgettable.
I remember a few of my friends and close friends and classmates, family, all in the hospital in my room praying for me. It made me feel loved.
Stephen continued to make steady progress while undergoing therapy for speech and memory. Although he still faces some challenges, Tammy says he is fully functional. They share more of his testimony in their book called Another Slam Dunk.
He's the greatest. He was able to heal me like I'm just a new person that's been put on this earth.
The power of prayer is real.
He wouldn't be standing here today if it wasn't for God.
I know God answers prayer. Prayer works. Prayer works.
He wants us to trust him. Even when you can't see it, it doesn't look good. All he wants us to do is trust him and have faith.
Now that truly shows the power of prayer and fasting. Remarkable story. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe so you never miss an episode. Until next time, I'm Brad Polk for Encounters from Beyond the Veil.